Greetings, friends. It is I, Igor, the Master's loyal servant. The Master wishes me to tell you that when he is conducting his experiments, stitching corpses together and giving them unholy life, he listens to the Sean Geek podcast, which he downloads directly from SeanMcGinnity.ca.
Igor, don't forget to tell him to download it from SeanMcGinnity.ca.
The Master wishes me to remind you that he downloads the Sean Geek podcast from SeanMcGinnity.ca, and so should you.
It lives! It lives!
And we're back for part 2 of the James Beaver canceled series of episodes where we talk about TV shows that were canceled way too early or didn't have that payoff that we wanted. Continuing right now, let's jump in.
Todd, you want to give us another one?
I've got Gilligan's Island. It was from
Gilligan's Island.
Well, I've got from 64 to 67. That doesn't sound right. I thought it was on longer than that. I might be incorrect.
I think it's on repeat so much that you think there's more episodes. That's often what happens to British shows. You think there's so many with a repeat so many times. You think there's more episodes than you actually see.
Oh, so did that show not have an ending? Did they not get off the island?
Yeah, they got actually twice. I think they got off. They got off the first time. And then they decided to go for a sail, and of course they ended up back on the island again.
If I was deserted on an island, I would never get back on a boat. You'd have to shoot me before I get on one again.
Yeah, no kidding.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So,
what do you have to say about that one, Todd?
It was a good show. I mean, it's kind of weird. Like when you think about it when you're older. You're like, it can make a two-way radio with a coconut, but couldn't fix a 2-foot hole in the frickin' boat. So it's, the realism wasn't there. But when you're young, you don't care. It's just all entertainment. Things are happening. They had this little beach front that they had, and they always had people either, washing up or things coming up. And
I like how Todd just quoted Eddie Murphy there.
It was a good, wholesome show, I guess you could call it, a family show at the time.
Did you watch it, James?
No.
I did because we had to.
Yeah.
Maybe I went too far back.
Yeah. Well, no. Even then, it never showed in England, even in repeats. So.
Right.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay.
I'm probably sure there's a British version. I haven't looked it up.
Actually, yeah, I bet you there would be.
Well, there's an English version of Who's the Boss.
What's it called? Who's the Boss? Or
The Upper Hand.
Okay.
And it has you guys watch Doctor Who, right?
Oh yeah.
Paul McGann.
Okay, yeah.
His twin brother Joe is what's his name? Tony Danza role.
Okay.
And the actress who plays Pussy Galore in James Bond is the mother. The mother.
Oh, okay.
So, it was okay. I just remember it, but I think America and UK had quite a bit of a TV swap.
Oh yeah,
swapping
big time.
ideas.
Yep.
I do have another.
My next show. Oh, you have another one?
Sorry.
Okay, fire off.
Go
ahead.
2.5 Men. 2.5 Men.
Is it done?
Well, I don't know if it's done, but it had Charlie Sheen on it. It was a great show. For some reason, when Kutcher came on, it just kind of the dynamic changed to the point where it was like, I don't really want to watch it anymore.
Like it's not even the same show.
No. Well, it ended too soon with Charlie Sheen because he was kind of the.
Yeah.
I mean, even though he kind of went off the deep end later on, And then he was kicked off the show.
Yeah, I think
he
you
was
should
still.
end
I
it
still.
with-
I still liked his acting better. He was way more into the role. I mean, Ashton is
It
good
should-
on his own, but it's a whole. The dynamic was just too different for me to get back into.
It should have ended with Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Like they should have just cut their ties and just said, "Yeah, that's it."
Yeah.
I feel
It's not even the same show. Like in a
Well,
lot
by
of
the end-
ways, like it didn't even feel. Even though it's a bunch of the same characters, it still didn't feel the same.
Well, by the end of it was just John Cryer.
Yeah.
They replaced everyone but John Cryer.
Oh, really? Because I didn't even follow it that long.
The kid left and they replaced it with a woman.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my
Yeah.
god! Like, come on.
I know. Because remember that the kid was basically got really radicalized in like kind of like this Christian community and basically said, "Don't watch 2.5 Men, it's sinful." So
Wow.
Of course it is. That's
Yeah.
the whole appeal.
yeah.
Oh man.
Anything else for you guys?
Well, I got a bunch more, but I think it's your turn, James.
I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go over all the British shows that got cancelled, unfortunately.
Okay.
Because
Okay. I'm gonna have some overlap here, I think, with you. So let's see if they
we'll see.
coincide.
So I've got about 5 series just from recent memory. The issue is a lot of these are BBC shows.
Yep.
Some are Channel 4, but the issue there is in England we have something called a TV license, and the TV license pays for all the programming on TV. So there's only a finite amount that they can actually produce.
Right.
So oftentimes shows will either skip a year or outright cancel before it's even in its prime. So these are one and dones. So the first one is the Fades.
FATES? Fades?
FADES.
Oh, okay. Fades. Okay. Gotcha.
Came out in 2012, and it has Joe Dempsey, Natalie Dormer, Tom Ellis, and Daniel Kaluuya.
Tom Ellis. That name sounds familiar.
Lucifer.
It is Lucifer. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Daniel Kaluuya was in Black Mirror, Get Out, and Black Panther.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. And Joe Dempsey and Natalie Dormer on Game of Thrones.
Okay.
One's Joffrey's wife, and the other is ends up with Arya Stark.
Oh my god. Okay.
So the whole show is
Joffrey's wife is amazing as an actress, like just ridiculous.
Yeah. And so this whole is about Paul is a geeky teenager who pretty much keeps to himself, and except to his best friend Mac, only talks when he needs to. He has never tried to fit in because he knows that he is different. He has visions of a terrifying apocalypse and can see the spirits of dead people called Fades. He's an angelic, and he's an angelic who combat the Fades.
Yeah, that sounds really freaking cool.
Yeah, it was 6 episodes, and it's just such a well done show.
6 episodes? That's it?
Yeah. And you guys ever watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Hey, yeah, I have.
What's his name? Fitz?
Yep.
He's the main character.
Oh, God. Well, that's enough of a sell right there.
Yeah.
I love Fitz.
And then the next one is Hard Sun.
Okay.
It came out in 2018, and it was cancelled. Hard Sun is a pre-apocalyptic crime drama set in contemporary London. The protagonists are 2 mismatched police officers who stumble upon proof that a mysterious cosmic event will destroy the Earth in 5 years, a fact the government is trying to keep secret to avoid complete anarchy. So they know the world's going to end in 5 years, but the government are trying to keep it under wraps to maintain order. And basically, it's kind of it's only 6 episodes, but a few of those episodes are people who believe it's going to happen, so kind of give into their like animalistic urges. Like a guy who's divorced wants his daughter back, so he's taking it back by force.
So did this run for 5 years?
It ran for 1.
Oh.
It had a 5-year plan.
Right.
It ran for 1 series.
Oh God, that's even worse.
And here's the thing: it was by Neil Cross, who did
Neil Cross.
Yeah.
Who's Neil Cross? I know who he is, but tell the listeners.
He's a British novelist and scriptwriter. He's, in my opinion, more famous for doing a TV show called Luther with Idris Elba. And yeah. And
how did that guy get a show canceled?
England. Like
Jesus.
It's
like that's
England.
wrong.
Yeah. Well, he has like a huge hit with Luther on his hands, and I think there wasn't enough money in the budget for another show. And that's what I mean. There's these great shows that just get cancelled needlessly.
Well, you need money. I can understand that.
And so I'm actually speaking of Idris Elba, he was actually in a show years ago. I'm just trying 1998, and it's him, Jack Davenport, and you guys ever watched True Blood?
Yep, I have. Yeah.
Vampire Bill.
Okay. Yeah.
He's in it as well, and it's a realistic version of vampires. It's about a police agency that are tracking them down, and Idris Elba is one of the main characters.
You know, it's funny you're sparking. You're sparking. I was like, oh, I keep wanting to add to my list.
Yeah.
You're reminding me of stuff.
And then I've got two more. This one is another one and done. It came out in when did it come out? I'm looking at the list. 2016. And it's called The Aliens.
Okay, not familiar with that one, but what's that one?
It's pretty much an English version of District 9.
Oh, okay.
But instead of the aliens looking like aliens, they more like us.
Budget.
Pretty much. But it was like such a like interesting show. It actually was in on Space in Canada, like a month after it finished.
Oh, okay.
And it's just such a well done show, and it's just a shame they couldn't finish it. And then the same creator is just having a bad time with with shows in general, because his next show, In the Flesh, was cancelled too after 2 seasons. He managed to get 2 this time. In the Flesh is a post-apocalyptic rebuilding TV show. It's the zombie apocalypse came and went, and they discovered a way to make zombies back into humans. And it's all about...
You've never seen that? I've never heard of that in a show before.
Yeah, they have PDS, partially deceased syndrome.
Well, if you can take regular people and make them into zombies, and that seems to be the premise on every movie about zombies, why not do the reverse? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's basically the PTSD from being a zombie, like eating people and remembering it, and also the hatred from people who never turned. So there's like a zombie hating. It's basically a play on racism in general, but it's done in such a really interesting way. It's called In the Flesh. And then, and that's
I'm actually writing this down. It's like, oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, and then I may as well, since I'm on British shows, another one which is actually getting a remake, but I'm gonna tell you the premise, and I want to ask you why you think it might not happen, even though it's been filmed. Okay. It's a show called Utopia. It came out in it ran for 2 seasons, from 2013 to 2014, and it's about a group of graphic novel fans who have this manuscript of this comic book artist where he predicts future events, all disease related, and the government are pretty much tracking them down and trying to get it because something about the manuscript reveals something that's about to happen. So it's like this shadow government chasing them around.
Does this guy actually know this, or is this just fictional, but it's tie in with the reality?
It's fictional because it came out in 2014.
Yeah.
And basically, the premise ends up being that the guy who did the manuscript was a writer, like a scientist who, from what he sees, has basically drawn it into his artwork. and they're manufacturing diseases to reduce population.
Interesting.
And that scientist is played by Palpatine.
Oh.
And like I said, it's such a good show, and it looks beautiful.
Ian
too.
McDermott from Star Wars.
Yeah,
Oh,
such a good show.
so
Now,
good.
Amazon got the rights to the remake, and
Okay.
they've already filmed it. My question is, will they release it? Especially considering what we're going through with this pandemic, a show about the government tracking down people, killing them, about this disease that they've made to unleash in the world. Do you reckon they'll actually release that?
Is it too
Maybe
soon?
That's what I'm thinking. And then the issue is, if it's too soon, will there be another season? You know what I mean? And it's got a good cast.
Wow.
What's his name? Wilson. He was in The Office and Super. Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson, yeah, okay.
He's in it. John Cusack's in it. It's got a good cast, and it's by the writer of Gone Girl.
Okay.
It originally had David Fichtner involved, but then he backed away.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm sorry to make this one-sided, but for some reason I'm kind of tying all this in. My next show is Mindhunter.
Okay, yeah. The old Mindhunter show from
the new one by David Fichtner on Netflix.
Okay.
There's 2-3 seasons.
Okay.
And the issue is I don't think they're gonna finish it. Because David Fichtner is pretty much busy doing movies, and apparently they released the cast, and it's so disappointing because they have this great story coming up, and it's so interesting, and I don't think they're going to complete it unless they pretty much recast everybody.
Oh man.
So anyway, that's me done for now.
Okay. Todd or me? I don't know whose turn is it.
I think it's yours.
Is it mine? It probably is. Okay, so I did my number 1 was Firefly, my number 2 was Avengers. My number 3 and 4 are tied. Sharon Carter, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
Brilliant show. Spin-off of the Marvel Universe movies. I'm in love with the actress.
Yeah.
She can do no wrong. Period.
Holly Hatwell.
She's amazing, and the character is amazing, and I can't get enough of that character or that actress. She's just phenomenal. Then it's tied with number 4 for me, which is the show called Coupling, which is a BBC show. It's a British show. Coupling was great. I like Coupling a lot.
Yeah,
definitely one of my favorite shows.
I think they tried an American version of it.
One after that, Comic Book Men, the Kevin Smith show.
Yeah,
the guys that run the comic book shop.
That got cancelled.
Yeah, it got canceled.
Never seen it.
It's. I guess.
I don't think I've seen that
a lot. You don't think you've seen it, Todd?
No.
It's basically a poor man's Pawn Stars.
Oh, okay.
But with comics, and he has a Kevin Smith connection.
Yeah, it's Kevin Smith's comic book shop, and then every episode is they're buying and selling comic books or toys or collectibles, and it kind of follows along that line of Pawn Stars.
Yeah.
But I think it's too geeky to be popular.
Yeah.
Because in the minutia of it is that, they bring in like comic book greats, like Lou Ferrigno shows up, Peter Mayhew shows up on an episode, George Perez shows up on an episode. It's all basically kind of comic and nerdy celebrities that are not celebrities outside of that, I guess. But for me, it just hit every nerve. I've been in the last 4 days, I've probably watched about 30 episodes, to be honest. And I can't stop.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be watching it now if we weren't doing this.
So we mentioned Kevin Smith. I actually got one more show.
Okay.
The pilot was actually directed by Kevin Smith.
Pilot?
Reaper. You ever heard of it?
Reaper?
Yeah.
What's Reaper?
It came out 2007 to 2009. It's about a guy who at the age of 18 is told by his parents that his soul was sold to the devil, and now he belongs to the devil.
Kevin Smith directed or wrote?
He directed this.
Holy shit.
He directed the pilot for it. And
Wow.
so it's Tim who works at like a Home Depot, getting given tasks by the devil to return the like hell souls back to hell. And each episode has a different gadget that brings the souls back, like a dustbuster or a remote control car or something like that.
Wow.
And the cool thing is, one of the best representations of the devil in a TV show. He's played by Ray Wise.
Okay.
He was in Twin Peaks. He's also one of the henchmen in RoboCop.
Okay.
But he plays it with such glee. It's just such a funny show. And then, unfortunately, the big twist turns out he's actually the son of the devil.
You just spawned a new episode right there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm making a note.
What new episode? Best Devils?
Best Devils.
Oh, I'll be up for that chat.
I know you would.
Yeah, like it's so good. Each week had like a different item, a different health soul to get, but the whole thing was him trying to get out of this deal. But then it turns out,
yeah.
And then he's like, I'm gonna try and get out of this deal, and the series ends with him about to get out of the deal, and then a former demon who's now turned into an angel breaks his hand and goes, "We're doing this for a reason," and that's how the show ends.
Wow.
And it's so sad because it's such a funny show. Yeah. Great cast working together, and just the devil character is so funny. There's a bit where he's watching a man get mauled to death in a cave, and you see him pop his head and go, "Does this thing still work?" And kind of like keeps touching it, like acting like an old dad trying to figure out the camera. And it's so well put together. It's just a shame we didn't get like a finale for it.
Oh. I think back to Todd now.
Yep.
Let's see what I write here.
You say
Breaking Bad.
What? That ended at the right time.
Well,
I'm going to agree with you on that, James.
That ended at a perfect
you know what?
time.
It ended at the right time. Although they did come out with was it El Camino?
Yeah.
I think it was called, which was a continuation. Now the thing is,
I don't mind that they're doing continuations on other characters.
Yes.
But if I swear to God, if by the end of Better Call Saul it shows Walter White alive and well, that would be worse than the Game of Thrones ending for me.
Wow.
Yeah, I fell off of Game of Thrones like a long time ago.
Oh man, good. That season,
and I won't go back now because I don't want to now.
It's so soul destroying, man. It's such a shame that they did that.
I haven't seen Game of Thrones. I haven't seen, was it Anarchist? What was it called?
Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen any of the big ones. The big ones, I've never watched them.
Sons of Anarchy ends at a decent place, and it doesn't betray anything. Whereas Game of Thrones is just so much that you could tell the writers are like, get it on with it, get it done.
It's like, but we're not. Yeah, but they weren't ready to.
Yeah,
I think they rushed it far too much.
They could have done with 2 more full seasons, not half seasons.
Yeah.
Now, Breaking
Yeah,
Bad
I agree,
actually did end properly, but
Yeah.
it was such a shame that it had ended so. For me, it was soon. It was such a good show. If they could have kept it on somehow without, I mean, you got Better Call Saul. There's some shootout ones that they have, but it's just not the same.
I'm actually kind of glad. I'm going go against you on this one. Breaking Bad, in my opinion, ended at the right time, because if it carried on, what next? Like, how would you keep topping it? Because his world's already crumbled. Everyone hates him. What does he do next?
Well, what did
Like,
they do with Game of Thrones? They wiped up the whole cast and then they started over. Why wouldn't you say Walter White's dead? No problem. Well, then we've got other characters that we can.
They should have just done what they did, where they did Better Call Saul. If Walter White's dead, that's the end of the show, because it's Breaking Bad for a reason. Because that's based on what Walter White is doing. He's Breaking Bad.
True.
It's like I said, Breaking Bad, even though it has a decent cast, it's not an ensemble cast. It's based off one guy.
Right.
In every single shot of Breaking Bad, you see Walt. Guaranteed. So yeah, I'm against you on that one. I think I would love to have seen more, but I think it would have dragged it out for too long. I think they ended at the right moment.
Right. Okay.
So.
You got anything else there, Todd?
Okay, Dukes of Hazzard. Did we talk about Dukes of Hazzard?
No, not yet.
Dukes of Hazzard. That was a staple growing up.
Hell yeah.
From 79 to 85. I don't recall how it ended. I know they had made the movie afterwards, which was okay, but it was kind of on a thing on its own. It had nothing to do with the show, really. I mean, Uncle Jesse wasn't there. They didn't have. Was Cooter there on the second one?
Oh my god, I don't remember that movie at all. I don't remember that movie at all. It is very forgettable.
Yeah, I mean, they did the same thing with Starsky and Hutch. They had
Starsky and Hutch was good though.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed Starsky and Hutch.
The movie or the show?
The movie.
Yeah, the movie was good.
I think I like the movie more than the show.
I remember the show,
James,
but I don't remember.
What's your 2 cents? Starsky and Hutch, movie or show?
No.
Neither one.
No to both.
No to both.
I never got into those shows. I think I've seen more stuff that parodies it than the actual show itself.
Yeah. What else you got there, Todd?
See, my list.
You do
I don't really have any that have any. Well, some of them I don't even remember how they ended. I know. I mean, Big Bang Theory ended great series. I would have liked to have seen more, because at night there's either one of two shows we watch at night. It's either repeats of Mom, or it's repeats of Big Bang Theory.
Of Mom?
Mom. Show Mom?
I don't know that show.
Oh, okay. They're two recovering addicts. They go to AA all the time. They've got a group of friends, and they have their own little adventures. It's pretty good. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
I've got Everyone Loves Raymond, 1996 to 2005. Used to watch that all the time. That one also.
Did that have an ending?
I don't know how it ended. Because
if you don't remember how it ends, it's probably not a good ending, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is this was before Netflix and before binge watching and before being able to watch everything. So you'd watch a show 1 week, you might miss 2 weeks, and then watch another show, and you've missed, quite. It's not like a soap opera where you could watch 3 months. You could wait 3 months for the next episode, and you just jump right back in because it goes so slowly. But for a show,
like a soap opera.
Yeah, but for these shows, when they're on prime time, and say there's 2 shows on you want to watch at the same time, you have to choose, right? So obviously you're not going to be able to see them, or back in the day, unless you had a VCR.
Yep.
So there's that one. Three's Company. Did we talk about that one?
Nope.
Okay, that was another one that was really good. that I liked from 76 to 84.
That one spinned off into Three's a Crowd, which I guess was an end in a way.
Well, there was Mr. Furley, and because there was two main landlords at the time. Don Knotts and I can't remember the other guy's name. But yeah, those were good. And there again, I don't know if those series actually had endings or they were just kind of a show in itself. Overheating.
You know what? Maybe those shows in the 70s, Todd, the 70s and his 80s, they just never ended. Like I don't know.
Well, did they have an ending? Well, you know, we weren't really paying attention at the time what type of ending there was. I mean, the Waltons. Remember the Waltons? My God, that's old. That's our parents' era. But I think that actually did have an ending for the last episode, I thought.
I don't remember the ending to it. I remember it having an ending. I just don't remember, I don't remember what it was.
Right.
Exactly. But I think it was different, though. I think back in the 70s and 80s, you didn't have to have an ending to a show.
Yeah.
Or it was less expected. Only the great shows like MASH or
Cheers,
that caliber.
I mean, Frasier. I'm not too sure how they.
What about Hill Street Blues? Like, did they have an ending? Did NYPD Blue? Like, did any of those shows have endings? Like, I don't honestly know.
Aren't they still on?
I don't know.
I
think there's a common trope for those listening. We're using Zoom this time. We had a very unpleasant experience. With our interview with Lee Filbert, which I honestly think we edited out like 20 minutes of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That hopefully he'll come back and fill in again. But JamesBeaver.com is where you can find his all his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He has a podcast called Beaver Does Movies.
He was a wrestler.
BeaverDoesMovies.com. He was a wrestler.
Ask him about.
I just watched a whole bunch of his. I want to have him come. Todd.
Yes.
Can we have him come back to talk wrestling?
Sure. Can we queue up, like, if you have links to things that you want to watch while we're interviewing him, send me the links and then we'll link them together so that we can at least watch them around the same time.
Actually, Todd, on Zoom, we can play it and I'll watch it.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. Perfect. Well, we'll have to figure that out. Good, if we can do that, we'll have a new format.
Oh, you know what? We are torturing the fuck out of James Beaver.
Why?
We're gonna watch a match. I think we have to watch one of his matches. I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed his matches. They're interesting.
Now, these were what year were you saying? Would you say this was? How many years ago? No. What year was the wrestling? Was it recently?
I think it was a little more than 2 years ago. I think maybe 3. There's a bunch of his stuff online which you can find, which is, I don't know. I found it entertaining. I'm easily entertained by people who go out and do shit.
Mm-hmm. Especially these people you know.
Yeah, exactly. Indie bands or local bands, like I like them all. Anyone that we've played with, that we've talked to,
right?
I instantly like their stuff. I don't have a good filter for what's good or bad. If we've met the person, talked to them,
right,
and it's automatically good. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. It's automatically good to me.
Right.
Once
James,
more we're feeling.
So, Todd and I were just discussing how we're gonna fuck you over on the next time you're on the show.
Hey.
You want to watch some of your?
Do you like it? Do you like it up the poop chute or not? I don't know.
I feel awkward wiping my own ass sometimes.
So, we have the ability to share video.
Yeah.
in Zoom. So I want to set up. We're gonna watch a wrestling match.
What now?
You're gonna find for me, and we're gonna embarrass the shit out of you. We're gonna find a match between you and Mike Reed, or something.
There was only one. It was never released.
Okay, we're gonna watch individual matches of you and Mike Reed, maybe separately, and we're gonna torture the hell out of you both.
Oh Lord!
And you're gonna do commentary over the match.
Oh, it's just gonna be really like me just shitting on myself.
Beautiful. That's an episode.
Hey.
Anyway, let's sign off here. It's getting late for everybody here.
It is.
Plug yourself, sir.
So Beaver Does Movies. It's coming back. I actually want to announce. I initially planned to come back for the second week, but one of my favorite movies is coming out July the 1st, and so I've decided to on the Friday.
How is it a favorite movie if it's not out yet?
It's True Romance, and it's coming to Netflix July the 1st.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, motherfucker. I'm very excited.
And so I've already done an episode about it that I've kept in the can, and I'm going to be releasing that episode on the Friday. So you can like watch True Romance and then listen to my thoughts about it with a light-minded.
Are they the version they're releasing? Is it just the theatrical or is it the extended?
I think it would just be the theatrical. So
I love the extended cut.
I love either cut, man. It's my favorite movie. So
I know it's your favorite. It's top 5 for me.
Yeah. So I'll be doing that, and then I'm not actually gonna fully announce it just because I want to make sure that I recorded everything this time before I announce anything. Yes. But the second week of July is going to be a whole week's worth of events.
Monday the one that I took part in. Okay.
Yes. So it's on its way. I've just got to finish some recording, but it's pretty much nearly complete. And as soon as I complete it and I've recorded everything, that's when I'm going to be announcing it because I don't want to.
Do you have the final episode left then?
I've got 2 more.
2 more. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I got 2 more, and then I got the special at the end.
Okay, so 3 more.
Yeah, I'm 4 down, 3 to go.
Oh, I'm very excited for the special at the end.
Yeah, me too. And so beaverdoesmovies.com. It has all my information there. Beaver Does on Twitter, Beaver Does Movies on Instagram. And then my new show, the BB Show, is me and Mike Reed talking to people. We're pretty much an open book when it comes to discussing topics. Our first episode that I actually recorded before this one, we spoke about Black Lives Matter and the current speaking out in pro wrestling. Like it was heavy topics.
I'm glad you guys are covering that.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up, and it's disheartening.
Well, it's something we all need to hear. Something that we all need to talk about. That's for sure.
So we had a bunch of us on. We had a round table. We discussed it. We brought up feelings and stuff like that. And that's kind of like I could talk about movies to the cows come on, but I'm also starting to expand into talking about other subjects. That is why I'm doing a second show with Mike Reed.
He's got a good voice, so that's good.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Me and Mike.
Yeah.
So.
Mike's good. And Mike. Come on, you're invited officially.
Oh yeah, I'm telling him after this, and he'll probably like message you right away. Okay. And then also for the BB Show, we have all our socials at the ready. The BB Show Pod.
The BB Show Pod.
Yeah. So definitely check that out. It's a lot more serious, but we also like to pepper in some fun as well.
Oh, of course. Are you using Podbean for that one?
Yes, we're using Podbean, and then we're doing Zoom interviews. I actually got a question, because one of the techniques I'm going to be imploring into my interview technique is asking silly questions. Like, especially if we're getting a bit too serious, sometimes it's nice to end on a silly question. So my question to you, when you guys are eating ice cream, do you use a little spoon or a big spoon?
Todd, I have an answer.
I used to use a big spoon, and most of the times I do. But when I use a smaller spoon, it's almost like you're regressing back to your childhood for some odd reason, which is kind of a weird answer, but normally a big spoon. But every once in a while, I will use a small spoon, just on purpose.
Yeah. How about you, Sean?
Small spoon because it makes it last longer.
Small spoon army. Stand up. that is pretty much me.
Yeah,
Let's eradicate large spoons. Let's get rid of them right now.
You know those travel spoons with the little flags on them from where you traveled? Use those.
Hell yeah. If you can only barely get in a crumb of chocolate fudge, then it's too big.
Yes.
We need spoons on an atomic level.
I ate an atom today.
There you go. Yeah, so that's pretty much something I'm looking to incorporate. We've got some interesting people going to be coming on the podcast. Mike's pretty good at booking guests, so I'm kind of riding his coattails.
Nice.
So I'll actually tell you who we've got after the recording.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's it.
Nice.
That's it for me.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for being on the Sean Geek podcast, and we'll see you guys later.